"This is your only chance, human. Act now or regret forever," declared his alien partner. The planet Navara stretched out beneath Alex Mercer like a vast, living painting. Emerald forests waved beneath the gentle wind, rivers sparkled like molten silver, and distant mountains pierced the sky with jagged peaks. Alex had never seen a world like this. Humans had mapped many planets, but Navarro was untouched, wild, and dangerous in ways that fascinated and terrified him. Alex adjusted the straps on his exploration pack and checked his equipment one more time. He was a field engineer for the Interstellar Exploration Corps, trained to solve problems in environments most humans would not survive. But even his experience couldn't prepare him for the strange hum that pulsed through the air as he descended into the forest valley. The hum was soft at first, almost musical, but then it grew louder, vibrating through the trees and under his boots. It was unlike anything he had ever encountered. He paused, scanning the area. Birds, or something like birds, flitted between the trees, but their feathers shimmered with a light of their own, casting faint, colorful patterns across the forest floor. Then he saw it, a flash of silver in the undergrowth. It moved quickly, too fast for any human or animal he knew. Alex crouched, keeping low, careful not to make a sound. His hand rested on the utility tool at his belt. Whatever this was, it was intelligent, and it was in trouble. He followed the movement to a clearing, and his heart nearly stopped. There, tangled in what looked like collapsed support beams and glowing energy wires, was a creature. It was humanoid in shape, but clearly alien. Its skin was a pale blue-green, faintly translucent, and its eyes were enormous, glowing softly like lanterns. Lyra. Alex didn't know her name yet, of course, but he felt a strange, immediate connection, as if the universe itself had told him that this being's life depended on his actions. The structure that trapped her had been part of a research station, or maybe a small outpost. Panels of strange technology were bent and broken, sparks jumping from exposed circuits. Lyra's limb was pinned beneath a fallen beam. She struggled weakly, and Alex noticed her breathing was rapid, panicked, but controlled. Whoever she was, she had survived far longer than he expected in such a crash. "Hey, stay calm, I'm here to help," Alex called softly, moving closer. His voice startled her, and her eyes widened in terror. She tried to pull free, but the beam held her tight. Alex quickly assessed the situation. He could try brute force, but that might injure her. His mind raced. He pulled a small, portable cutting tool from his pack. Its laser blade hissed as it activated. Alex aimed carefully at the beam, thinking about heat dispersion and structural load. Sparks flew, and he had to adjust several times. The beam groaned, but it didn't break. Lyra let out a small, sharp sound, half fear, half warning. He paused. "Trust me." "I won't hurt you," he said. His hands moved steadily. "Just a little more and you'll be free." Her gaze softened, just a fraction enough to show she understood, or at least believed him. Alex gritted his teeth and tried a different approach. Using the cutting tool, he sliced into the support at a specific angle, exploiting the weak point he had noticed. The beam creaked, shifted slightly. Alex added a steady push with his shoulder. With a final groan, the beam broke free. Lyra's trapped limb was released, and she collapsed to the ground, trembling but alive. Alex dropped the tool, offering a hand. "Are you okay?" he asked. For a moment, she didn't answer. Then, in a voice that sounded musical and strange, she said something Alex couldn't understand. He tilted his head, confused. "What? Sorry, I don't speak your language." Her large eyes filled with tears, but then she did something unexpected. She reached forward, placing her hand gently on his chest. A warmth spread through Alex, like sunlight through cold glass. Suddenly, the hum in the forest seemed to shift, as if responding to her touch. "Right," Alex muttered, still unsure what was happening. You're grateful," she nodded vigorously. Then, in halting English words she must have picked up from somewhere, she said, "Human, you saved me, now claim your right of first night." Alex froze. The words were strange, alarming, and utterly incomprehensible in meaning. "Wait, what right of night?" Lyra's expression was earnest, almost desperate. Alex realized she was serious, but he had no idea what custom she referred to. He glanced around the clearing. There was no one else in sight. The forest seemed to hold its breath, waiting. Deciding not to panic, Alex took a cautious step back. "Okay, slow down. I don't understand what that means." She gestured toward a small, intact part of the outpost nearby. "Ceremony, trust, night," she said, pointing to herself, then to him. Alex frowned. He didn't know what to make of it. Then he remembered the notes he had read before landing. Nivarites, the species native to this planet, were rumored to have complex rituals tied to honor, trust, and life-saving acts. Perhaps this was one of them. "Ah, you mean a ritual?" Alex said slowly. "Not something else." Lyra's eyes sparkled with relief. She nodded furiously, her limbs still trembling. Alex smiled awkwardly, feeling a mixture of pride and confusion. He had expected adventure, danger, even contact with alien intelligence, but he had not expected a ceremonial thank you that sounded like a medieval proclamation. "Okay," he said finally. "I'll do the ceremony, but first let's get you out of these broken wires." For the next hour, Alex worked to stabilize Lyra and the outpost debris. Using his engineering tools, he reinforced unstable beams, patched a ruptured energy line, and fashioned a temporary harness to allow Lyra to move without risking further injury. She watched him intently, her large eyes following every motion, occasionally mimicking small gestures. As he worked, Alex began to notice more about her species. Her skin shimmered faintly, especially where exposed to the sun. When she moved, the air around her seemed to ripple slightly, like the heat haze over a desert, though there was no heat. He guessed it was some form of bioluminescence or energy emission, something humans had never developed naturally. "You're amazing," he said aloud, almost to himself. "Even hurt, you're resilient." Lyra gave a small, musical laugh, the sound almost like wind chimes. Then she touched a glowing panel and gestured for Alex to observe. Symbols shifted across the screen, geometric shapes, flowing lines, patterns that reminded him of both music and math. She pointed at one line repeatedly, then at herself, then at him. Alex's mind raced. She wasn't just grateful, she was trying to communicate, to explain something important. Carefully, he mirrored her gestures, tapping and drawing lines in the air. Slowly, he realized she wanted him to understand the ceremony of trust she mentioned. A shared night of learning, storytelling, and establishing mutual protection. "You mean this is how you honor someone who saves your life?" he asked. She nodded vigorously, her eyes shining with urgency. Then, almost instinctively, she guided him to a small, flat clearing in the forest, where the ground was smooth and circular. Ancient glyphs were carved into the soil, symbols Alex could not decipher. Lyra stepped into the center, then beckoned for him to join. Alex hesitated. He had faced dangerous creatures, collapsing structures, and unpredictable environments, but standing in the middle of an alien ritual circle was new territory. I don't know what I'm doing," he admitted. "You saved life first," she said. Her voice was steady now, commanding. "You, human, begin." Alex exhaled. He was on an alien world, performing a ceremony he didn't understand, with a creature who depended on him and trusted him completely. And for the first time, he felt something stronger than curiosity or adventure: responsibility. Humans were often outsiders, observers, explorers, but here, his skills, his mind, and his compassion had a real effect. Lives depended on it. He took a deep breath and stepped into the circle, meeting her gaze. The forest seemed to quiet, the wind pausing, as if the planet itself were observing. In that moment, Alex realized that this was more than a rescue. This was the beginning of something profound, the start of a bond between species, a proof of human courage, ingenuity, and empathy in the face of the unknown. And so the night began, not a night of fear or battle, but a night of trust, learning, and the first steps of an interstellar friendship that could change the course of history. The clearing in Navarra's forest felt alive. The air shimmered faintly, carrying the subtle hum Alex had noticed since he landed. Lyra led him to the center, where intricate symbols were etched in the soft ground. Each glyph glowed softly, pulsating in rhythm with the hum of the forest. Alex's mind raced. "What do I do now?" he asked, stepping cautiously into the circle. Lyra tilted her head, her huge glowing eyes observing him carefully. Then she did something unexpected. She clapped her hands together. The sound was like a series of gentle chimes. A faint light traced the lines of the glyphs, forming a pattern Alex hadn't seen before. He hesitated. Okay, I guess I follow." Lyra's eyes sparkled and she nodded. She gestured to the ground, indicating that Alex should sit. Hesitantly, he lowered himself onto the soft soil. The forest around them seemed to hold its breath. It was as if every tree, every creature, every gust of wind were waiting for this moment. Lyra sat opposite him. Her hands hovered over a glowing glyph, and then she touched the earth lightly. Instantly, patterns appeared in the soil, flowing and shifting. Alex stared, fascinated. It reminded him of circuit diagrams, but alive, moving like a river. "This is your ceremony?" he asked. She nodded again, then in broken English she began to explain. "Life saved, trust given, ceremony show understanding, learn know respect help," Alex frowned. "So it's about trust and learning each other." Lyra's eyes brightened. She clapped again, the chime-like sound resonating with the glowing symbols. Alex noticed that the hum of the forest synced with the claps. The rhythm was almost musical, and he realized that the Nivarite ritual wasn't just symbolic, it was interactive. It involved energy, focus, and presence. He took a deep breath and looked at the patterns in the soil. "All right, show me." Lyra smiled faintly. She lifted her hands and the glyphs shifted into a new pattern. Then she mimicked gestures, small movements that Alex could follow. Slowly, he moved his hands the way she did, tracing the air above the symbols. The glyphs responded, glowing brighter where his hands hovered, dimming where he moved incorrectly. It was like playing an alien instrument. The rules weren't obvious, but if he paid attention, he could influence the energy around them. Alex focused, recalling everything he knew about physics, energy, and pattern recognition. Every gesture he made caused a ripple in the glowing symbols, and he felt a strange, warm connection to Lyra. "You, human, good," Lyra said, her voice melodic. "Understand fast," Alex chuckled. "Well, I've had practice fixing things." She tilted her head, seemingly amused. Alex realized she didn't fully understand humor, but she appreciated the attempt. The ritual continued, and the forest's hum grew louder, harmonizing with their movements. Alex noticed tiny creatures, almost invisible, flitting near the glyphs. They seemed drawn to the energy he and Lyra produced. He guessed they were part of the Nivarite ecosystem, perhaps even sensors or guardians that responded to life-saving acts. Hours passed, though Alex had no way of measuring time. The forest's light shifted with the sun, casting soft shadows across the clearing. With each gesture and interaction, the bond between human and alien strengthened. Alex began to understand that this ceremony wasn't just a ritual. It was a test of understanding, patience, and mutual respect. Finally, Lyra clapped 3 times, sharply this time. The forest responded. The hum grew into a resonance that filled Alex's chest. The glyphs rose slightly from the ground, forming a small, glowing platform. Lyra gestured for him to step onto it. Alex hesitated. The platform felt unstable, but he trusted her. As soon as he stepped on, the energy shifted. It felt warm and supportive, almost as if the planet itself were holding him. Lyra mirrored him, placing her hand on the platform as well. The glow intensified, and a series of images appeared before Alex's eyes, not holograms, but visions that seemed alive. He saw Nivara's history, forests growing, cities of glowing energy structures, Nivarites communicating with sound, light, and thought. He saw moments of courage, moments of failure, and moments of survival. Then a vision of himself appeared, rescuing Lyra, stabilizing the broken outpost. The Nivarites were observing, recording, and evaluating. Alex swallowed hard. "So, this is how you honor someone who saves a life. You show them everything that matters to your people." Lyra nodded slowly. "Yes, trust, honor, friend." For the first time, Alex truly felt the weight of what he had done. He had not only saved Lyra, but he had earned the trust of an entire species. It was exhilarating, terrifying, and deeply humbling. The visions faded, leaving Alex and Lyra standing together on the glowing platform. The glyphs dimmed to a gentle shimmer. Lyra spoke, her voice softer now. "Human now, first night, trust yours." Alex blinked, understanding this time. It was not a night of anything else. It was the first night of trust and friendship, the ceremonial start of their bond. He nodded solemnly, feeling pride and responsibility settle into his chest. "All right," he said. "I accept. I will honor this trust." Lyra's eyes glowed brighter, almost like the sun reflecting on water. She reached out and Alex took her hand. A surge of warmth traveled through him. He could feel a connection not just to her, but to Nivara itself. "You, human special," Lyra said simply. Alex smiled, shaking his head in disbelief. "Well, I'm just trying to do my job." But he knew it was more than that. Saving a life was one thing. Earning trust, true, deep interspecies trust, was something entirely different, and he had done it. As night fell, the forest glowed with bioluminescent plants. Lyra guided him to a small shelter nearby, an alien pod-like structure still intact. Inside, it was warm, soft, and surprisingly comfortable. Lyra motioned for him to rest while she tended to her minor injuries. Alex watched her work, fascinated by the way she manipulated energy and tools with precision he had never seen in any human or machine. Finally, she sat beside him. "Human, learn Nivara ways," she said. "Understand world, help survive." Alex nodded. "And I learn from you." Lyra's large eyes reflected the soft lights of the shelter. For the first time since his arrival, Alex felt completely at peace. He wasn't alone. He wasn't just an explorer or a stranger on a distant world. He was a friend, a trusted ally, someone who had proven that humanity could rise to the challenge of the unknown. Hours passed as they shared stories, not in words alone, but through gestures, visions, and energy. Alex told her of Earth, of human struggles and triumphs. Lyra shared memories of Nivara, of forests untouched by machines, of cities glowing with life energy. Each story deepened their understanding. Each moment strengthened the bond. By the time Alex drifted into sleep, he realized the truth. Humans had a place in the universe, not just as explorers, but as beings capable of empathy, ingenuity, and friendship beyond species. And Lyra, well, she had found someone she could truly trust. The morning sun crept over the jagged peaks of Nivara, spilling golden light through the tall, shimmering trees. Alex Mercer woke with a start, his body sore from the forest floor, but his mind was alert. The events of the previous night still lingered vividly. The ritual, the glowing glyphs, and the incredible connection he had formed with Lyra, the young Nivarite he had saved. He stretched and rubbed his eyes. The forest around him was alive with color and movement. Tiny creatures with luminescent wings danced between branches, their lights reflecting in the dew. Birds, or something like birds, sang, their songs harmonizing with the soft hum that seemed to flow from the forest itself. Alex rose and glanced at Lyra. She was already awake, sitting calmly on a soft patch of moss, her hands tracing patterns in the air. The air around her shimmered faintly, as though her thoughts were painting the space with energy. Alex had watched her do this the night before and still marveled at how something so alien could be so beautiful and intelligent. "Good morning," he said cautiously, unsure if she would answer in words. "Human, awake, yes," she replied in her broken but understandable English. Her eyes glimmered with curiosity and energy. "Sunrise, new day, teach, learn, survive," Alex smiled. "Right, survive, that's usually my first priority on a new planet." He glanced around, suddenly remembering the damaged outpost from the day before. "We should check the outpost again, make sure everything is stable." Lyra nodded and led the way. As they approached the wreckage, Alex noticed something unusual. The energy panels that had sparked dangerously yesterday were pulsing with strange signals. He frowned and crouched to examine them. The readings weren't consistent with normal energy fluctuations. Something in the planet's orbit, or beyond it, was interfering. "What is it?" Lyra asked, tilting her head. "I'm not sure yet," Alex admitted, brushing a hand over one of the panels. "But it looks like something coming toward the planet, something big." Lyra's eyes widened. She reached out, placing her hand over Alex's, and a strange warmth traveled through him. He felt her thoughts, not in words, but in feeling, an urgent, anxious sense of warning. She was worried for her home, for her people. Together, they climbed to a small hill nearby, giving them a wide view of the forest and the distant city of Elendra, the Nivarite capital. Alex scanned the skies using his portable sensors. The results made him grim. "An asteroid," he muttered. "A large one, and it's on a collision course with the city." Lyra's usual calm demeanor faltered. Her large eyes blinked rapidly, her energy rippling in sharp pulses. Alex realized this was a moment of true crisis. "We need to warn the city," he said, already pulling out his communicator. "Do they have shields?" "They limited only protect part of city," Lyra said. Her voice was tense but controlled. "Human help, yes," Alex nodded. "Of course, we'll do everything we can." He took a deep breath and surveyed the problem. The asteroid was massive, larger than any he had encountered on Earth or in previous missions. If it hit the city unprotected, it could wipe out millions of lives. The challenge was enormous. But Alex had faced impossible odds before, and he knew humans had a particular strength, thinking outside the box. "We can't stop it with brute force," he said aloud, speaking more to himself than Lyra. "We'll need to combine your technology and my engineering." Lyra tilted her head, and Alex realized she understood the plan immediately. She raised her hands, tracing glowing patterns in the air. The symbols mirrored the energy panels in the outpost, forming a complex network of lines and circles. Alex studied them, feeling the resonance in the ground beneath him. "Your energy system," he said. "I can modify it, focus it. Together we can create a temporary shield enough to push or break apart the asteroid." Lyra's energy flared, and the forest around them seemed to respond. Birds and small creatures scattered, but the hum of the planet intensified, almost like encouragement. She placed her hand on his shoulder, sending a wave of reassurance. Alex realized something incredible. This wasn't just technology. The Nivarite energy system responded to thought, emotion, and intent. It was alive in a way human machines could never be. "Let's do it," he said. "Step 1, connect your nodes to the main outpost panel. Step 2, we redirect the energy to form a protective field. Step 3, he hesitated. Step 3 is the part we hope works." Together they rushed to the outpost. Alex worked with precision, connecting conduits and recalibrating power flow. Lyra mirrored his actions, her hands tracing patterns in the air to stabilize the energy output. The panels glowed brighter, humming in sync with her gestures. Alex could feel the raw power of Navarra itself running through the system, like a river of electricity and life combined. "Almost ready," Alex said, wiping sweat from his brow. "You can do this, right?" Lyra gave a small nod, her eyes blazed with focus. "Yes, together save city." Alex smiled grimly. Humans were known for their ingenuity, but moments like this were rare. This was where human intuition and problem-solving mattered more than brute strength. He adjusted a final conduit, and energy surged through the system, flowing into a dome-shaped formation above the outpost. The dome shimmered, visible as a translucent protective shield. Alex felt the vibration in the ground as the asteroid approached, the city in the distance a shining target against the morning sun. Lyra's energy flared in response, weaving through the shield, reinforcing it with precise, rhythmic pulses. "Hold steady," Alex said, teeth gritted. "This is going to be close." The asteroid entered the atmosphere, trailing fire and smoke. The hum of the planet merged with the mechanical vibrations of Alex's shield, creating a pulse that felt almost alive. Alex adjusted the flow, making micro-corrections based on the asteroid's trajectory. Lyra guided him with subtle gestures, her energy creating a resonance pattern that stabilized the shield. Alex could feel it, every adjustment mattered. One misstep and the city would be gone. Slowly, painfully, the asteroid slowed as it met the energy barrier. Fragments broke off, small enough to burn harmlessly in Navarra's atmosphere. The main mass of the asteroid shifted course slightly, pushed away by the combined force of human engineering and Nivarite energy. Alex let out a low whistle of relief. "We did it, at least partially." Lyra's eyes glimmered with joy. She placed her hand on his arm, sending warmth and a wave of gratitude. Alex realized that humans had just earned a place in the hearts of the Nivarites, not as visitors, not as observers, but as capable and trusted allies. The city of Elendra below them was safe, though still at risk if another asteroid approached. Alex knew this was only the beginning. But for now, they had proved something remarkable. When human ingenuity met alien intelligence, impossible feats became possible. Alex could feel the strain of the energy coursing through the combined human-alien system. His hands gripped the control panel, adjusting conduits and recalibrating the flow of power, while Lyra hovered beside him, her hands weaving through the air, tracing patterns of light and energy that anchored the shield. It was an unprecedented collaboration. Humans had never worked with anything like this, and yet the logic of engineering and the rhythm of Nivarite energy merged seamlessly. "Steady, steady," Alex muttered. His brain worked faster than ever, calculating angles, energy thresholds, and orbital dynamics. He realized that the asteroid's irregular shape meant it wasn't just a simple collision problem. It was like juggling a massive, unpredictable object while keeping thousands of lives safe. Lyra's glowing eyes never left him. She sent pulses of energy that he instinctively interpreted as guidance, subtle corrections for every fluctuation he didn't even notice. It was remarkable. A human alone might have failed, a Nivarite alone might have faltered, but together they were more than the sum of their parts. Suddenly, a fragment broke from the asteroid, a jagged piece the size of a small building, and it plunged toward Elendra at terrifying speed. Alex's heart thudded. "Brace yourself," he said. "This is going to get close." He rerouted additional energy to reinforce the shield, focusing every ounce of concentration on maintaining its stability. The fragment struck the barrier, and for a moment the dome wobbled. Sparks of light cascaded along the surface, illuminating the forest and the distant city in an ethereal glow. Alex felt the vibration through his boots, through his chest. Lyra's energy flared violently, and he felt a pulse of reassurance. She had taken over some of the stabilization, and the fragment slowed, breaking into smaller pieces that burned harmlessly in the atmosphere. Alex allowed himself a brief smile. "Good job, we're holding." But the asteroid was massive, and more fragments followed. Each strike tested their coordination. Alex called out adjustments, rerouting power to areas under stress. Lyra responded instantly, her hands moving in perfect rhythm with his commands. Every time a fragment threatened to penetrate, they pushed back, combining calculation and intuition. Hours passed in a blur of light, energy, and tension. Sweat dripped down Alex's forehead, but he hardly noticed. His mind was fully occupied with the task, yet he felt a strange exhilaration. Humans were remarkable not because of their strength, but because of their creativity, adaptability, and determination. He was proving that now, in a way he had never imagined. Finally, the asteroid began to break apart naturally, its mass reduced by the constant pressure of the energy dome and the gravitational shifts Alex and Lyra subtly manipulated. He wiped a hand across his face and let out a low laugh. "We did it. I think it's working." Lyra's large eyes glimmered with relief. She touched his arm, sending a pulse of warmth and gratitude. "Human, saved, city clever." Alex smiled, though his body ached. "Well, I've had practice with impossible problems." He looked out at Elendra, the city safe beneath the glowing dome. "But you helped me too. I couldn't have done this without you." For the first time, he truly felt the depth of their partnership. Humans were known for ingenuity, but here, ingenuity alone was not enough. They needed connection, trust, and coordination across species to succeed. Lyra had trusted him, guided him, and enhanced their solution with abilities humans could not replicate. Together, they had achieved what neither could have done alone. As the last fragment of the asteroid burned away in the upper atmosphere, the shield dimmed and collapsed gently back into the outpost's energy panels. The hum of the forest returned to its soft, steady rhythm. Alex exhaled, finally allowing his body to relax. Lyra floated toward him, her energy glowing softly. "Human right first night complete," she said simply. Her words reminded him that their ceremony was not just symbolic, it was now solidified in action. They had faced danger together, and humanity had proven its worth. Alex nodded solemnly. "Yes, we completed it, and the city is safe." They descended from the hill, heading back to the forest clearing. Along the way, Alex observed the world anew. Every leaf, every creature, every shimmer of light in the air reminded him why this planet was worth protecting. He realized that saving Lyra had started a chain of events leading to this moment. The moment where humans could demonstrate their unique combination of intellect, courage, and empathy. By the time they returned to the shelter, the sun was dipping behind the mountains, casting the forest in shades of orange and gold. Lyra gestured for Alex to sit, and he obeyed, exhaustion finally catching up with him. She sat across from him, her eyes bright with curiosity. "You human, clever, strong heart," she said. "Nivara trust humans, yes." Alex chuckled softly. "I guess we've earned a little trust, haven't we?" He looked at her glowing eyes and felt a deep sense of satisfaction. Humans were often underestimated in the galaxy. But here, on this strange world, they had shown that ingenuity, courage, and empathy could overcome even the greatest challenges. For the next hour, they shared more than words. Alex described the Earth, his life as an engineer, the risks he had taken, and the small moments of triumph that shaped his world. Lyra responded in kind, showing him visions of Nivara's forests, cities, and history. They laughed at misunderstandings, marveled at discoveries, and celebrated the momentary peace they had created together. Alex realized something profound. This was why humans were valuable in the universe. Not because of brute force or advanced weapons, but because of the ability to adapt, empathize, and collaborate in ways no one else could. In this moment, he was proud of his species, proud that they could stand beside beings like the Nivarites as equals and allies. Night fell and the stars emerged over Nivara. Alex and Lyra stepped outside the shelter, gazing at the sky. The city lights of Elendra twinkled in the distance, safe for now, a testament to their combined effort. Human, Lyra said softly. First night, not just ritual, now promise, protect, help, friend. Alex nodded. I promise, and I'll keep learning, not just for you, but for all of Navara. Lyra's hand touched his, sending a gentle pulse of energy that felt like sunlight through water. Alex realized that trust, friendship, and ingenuity were more powerful than any weapon or shield. They were the true tools that could change worlds. And for the first time in his life, Alex Mercer felt that humanity's place in the stars was real and deserved.